Master Kim was a brilliant coach. I could stand here and say just that, and I feel like I would be finished. I have met so many great champions in Taekwondo, so many great coaches, and he truly was on another level. He loved to inspire with words of wisdom, and one of his favorite quotes was, "Success leaves clues." It's a popular motivational quote, and he liked to use it in different contexts. Master Kim had a very intellectual approach. He was different in the way he thought. He had a way with words that he could present the most complex information in the most simple terms that anybody could understand. I think it made him so approachable to us, but also such a great leader. When he said success leaves clues, he would say it to somebody who was trying to establish themselves. And he would say, look at what the successful people do, model their behavior, and you too might achieve success. But he also used it for those who had already achieved success as a word of caution that once you play, once you win, you're going to show your hand. And sometimes people can use that. And that's really the way he thought. In 2009, when Master Kim was appointed the head coach of the United States National Kumse team, as Master Cooley just mentioned, we had our first team training in Chatsworth. And I remember this moment for one specific story that I'll share. Master Kim brought his Olympic gold medal, the medal that's up here with us today. And he said to the athletes, "Here, try it on. See how it feels. It's got some weight to it." He handed me the medal, and my simple mind thought, okay, this is really heavy. Heavier than any medal I had won before. I kind of responded, and I jokingly said, "Is it solid gold?" He responded and said, "If it was, I would have sold it already." So, what was interesting in the moment though, and what I noticed about his way with words was that he had such deep meaning. He was a quiet person, but when he spoke, he often had so many levels to those words that as an athlete, as a person, as a friend, it was like we were absorbing this deep truth that we couldn't access unless we had that sort of mentorship and leadership. And it just felt like we had this like a secret weapon, right? When we would talk with him or share stories, these gems would come out. So with that training, we held the medal and we put it on. We did some visualization, some interesting reading the clues. And I wanted to close and say that Master Kim lived an incredibly successful life in everything he did. He left us with many clues to study, and he left us with many memories to cherish. Thank you.
Thank you. The best piece of advice the second best piece of advice, actually, I'll tell this story, that Master Kim ever gave me, came to me at the JKI. For those of you who don't know, the JKI was the Jimmy Kim Invitational. That was Master Kim's Taekwondo tournament. It started after he won the Olympic gold medal to commemorate his win. And through years of hard work and innovation from Master Kim and his friends and family, it turned a very local, small tournament into, honestly, one of the best tournaments in the entire country, debatably even larger. Every year, Taekwondo athletes, coaches, and referees would come to the pyramid in Long Beach and compete for medals with Master Kim's name on them. Several of those medals Master Kim actually designed himself. He was never quite satisfied with the alternatives out there, and he wasn't sure that it would give the right experience to everybody attending. So for several years he would design his own medals and present those. I was honored to be one of the organizers of the JKI, and I was happy to do it. It was very busy work, but it was always very interesting to watch Master Kim those days at the tournament. He knew he had an outsized role compared to all of us. He would have to make speeches and pose for photographs and talk to his athletes and coach them, pose for more photographs. And he would do this all day long at the tournament, and he would never stop. I don't think I ever saw him sit down. It was at one of these tournaments, I don't exactly remember the year, but Master Kim and I were speaking. I was a referee co-chair. And a coach approached us, and he wanted to talk to us because he had a complaint about a recently ended match. I don't remember the details about what had happened, but it was a typical Taekwondo complaint. Master Kim let him talk and explain everything that went wrong in the match, and this had happened, that had happened, and Master Kim listened. And as the coach spoke, the coach got calmer and calmer. And after it was all done speaking, Master Kim asked him, "Is there anything I can do to make it better?" The coach just waved him off and said, no, thank you for listening to me. That's all I wanted, and he walked away. I was a little surprised because the coach started off his thing very upset. But Master Kim turned to me and he said, sometimes coaches just get frustrated that the referees maybe don't hear them out. And all you need to do sometimes is just listen to them. And that's all they need. I definitely took this advice to heart. It helped me as a referee, helped me as a business owner. And I especially found it very helpful and useful in my marriage. These memories at the JKI and everywhere are always going to stay with me. I'm always going to thank Master Kim for them and keep them in my memory. And the most important piece of advice that Master Kim ever gave me is to always save brisket for the end of the Korean barbecue. That's it. Thank you.
When I was reminiscing about my most treasured memories of Master Kim, surprisingly most of them were moments where I had stubborn and angry tears rolling down my cheeks. Crying while I was kneeling in front of a wooden board, my hand throbbing in pain after I had failed to break my testing board for the third time. Standing in front of teammates, parents, coaches, petrified with fear that stumbling over my words because Master Kim had asked me to give a public speech about what I had learned in training. Repeating kicking drills back and forth across the mat with burning legs, wallowing in my own self-pity because I was too headstrong to listen to Master Kim and to simply yell with from my stomach with power. As a student at JKTC, many of us share our own version of these memories. Moments where we broke down, where we were pushed outside of our comfort zone, past our perceived limits. Moments that demanded a practice of our Taekwondo fundamentals: self-control, self-discipline, and indomitable spirit. I look back on these memories now with adoration because they cultivated my self-confidence and my self-esteem. I learned that I had the ability to work past my failures, and that the biggest limitation I had was in my own mind. These are the lessons that Master Kim taught me, and that I have found more valuable than anything I've learned in my 20 years of education and medical residency. Lessons that I return to over and over again, because they guide me through the obstacles, disappointments, and unexpected challenges in my life. As my coach and my master, Master Kim embodied what indomitable spirit means. He was an example of what we could accomplish. He was the challenger that put us to the test. He was the strategist who gave us tips and techniques on how to approach the challenge. But most importantly, he was the voice that said, "You can do it." I still don't like public speaking, but I'm so glad that I finally listened to him. I'm so grateful for the lessons that he taught me, and we are all so lucky for the time that we had with him. Thank you.
So had a thing for winging speeches, so I think I'm gonna take it in his honor in that one. Last night I went to the studio for the first time since I left April this year, and I went to reflect, I went to reminisce, and I got to basically think about all the memories. That was the last place that I saw Master Kim before I moved across the country. I'm gonna share my version of Master Kim with you guys. You all know I coached at JKTC, coached on national team level, and the things that I remember the most at the studio in particular was his ability to just teach, just in general. He has a pure passion for teaching, something that I feel like in that setting I could never do or never accomplish or never be like him. But to watch him do it with little kids, to get down on their level, to connect with them and simplify things, to teach. Time wasn't necessarily a factor. Mrs. Kim would always remind him that class was ending. But he would just continue to give everything he could give in that class. That was something that I respected a ton for 7 years while I watched him coach as I was there. Day to day, all the time, when we would have conversations, he would talk about fishing, because he enjoyed fishing. I think at AAU National, we were fishing on the dock behind at the hotel. Like he makeshifted a hook out of a skewer, and he's like, well, as soon as you feel a tug, you gotta yank it. And it's not a fishing pole or anything, but it was something he loved. But when he talked about competing, he would say when you're fighting, you have to use the right bait to catch any of the fish you want all day long. So any technique you wanted to set up, use the right bait, it's gonna be there, you can catch it. And then the last thing that I wanna share is, he would always have projects going on. I would always hear, Chase, I gotta go. I gotta work on this thing at home. And he'd pull one of his sons or anything of that nature, but he always had tools and things going on where he was working on things, and he would say, if you have the right tools, any project you're working on is easy, right? So throughout the years, I've been able to be around Master Kim a lot. The students that he taught, the students that he inspired me to be able to teach, you guys have a lot of tools from the both of us. Use those things in your future, use those things in your lives, and you guys will all be successful in everything that's going on. You guys have all heard the quote, there's the family that you're born into, there's the family that you choose. I am not up here on the stage because I coached at JKTC. I am here talking because Master Kim was family to me. So to end this, for those of you few students that know Master Kim's silly side, to Gina Williams, and to my friend and mentor and master, Jimmy Kim, the game.